Frank Leboeuf, Shaka, Hislop and Stuart Robertson with us. Robert, I want to start with you because the big question really going into this game is to whether or not Carlo Ancelotti should risk Karim Benzema. Of course, he hasn't featured so far in La Liga in 2022 after picking up that injury. And the question and the dilemma that Ancelotti has is they're not head and shoulders above everyone in La Liga anymore. It's not a given that they're going to go on and win. 4 points is all that their lead is over Sevilla. So what do you do in this situation going into this first leg in Paris?
Well, as you said, it is difficult for Ancelotti because when Benzema's playing, they look a much better side. He links up the play, he can run in behind, he links up well with Vinicius Jr. They can play a counter-attacking game, they can actually dominate matches as well. But if he's not fully fit, you can't play him. I've seen it time and time again where you desperately try and get a player back to fitness. You think he's so important, you put him out on the field. He doesn't play particularly well because he's holding back slightly or he only lasts 15, 20 minutes. So that's the big dilemma. I can't think that he's absolutely fit. I'm sure that Ancelotti will have to go with somebody else and maybe Benzema being the sub. But it's a massive risk if he plays him.
The thing is, Steve, if Real Madrid were 20 points ahead in La Liga, then it's a slightly different conversation, isn't it? But because he's so key and because he's proved to be so important to this side and shown how much they struggle without him, it's a proper question that Ancelotti has to answer.
I actually don't have an answer for you because I'm going both ways.
Right.
I don't disagree with Robbo as saying the fact that we've seen players, and I'm sure Robbo's thinking of Harry Kane in the Champions League final, which I know is a little different. It's a final, but it was a complete and utter mistake. And so from that point of view, I agree with them. But I also disagree the fact that even because he's not fit, he's such an influence, whether he plays well or not, he's such an influence on the field that if he's fit, see what you can get out of.
But what about the long-term repercussions? What if he goes there and he does his hammy and then that's it for the season, whatever?
Well, when I say fit, clearly he's not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
The doctors and the medical staff, the question Ancelotti will be asking is how long can this guy go for? And if they say, well, you might get 45, then if that's the case, I say you play them first 45 because the influence he has will get them in the game and the players, in my opinion, will be comfortable.
Right.
And so then the second half then, again, yes, he's not going to be there, but I just think his overall influence, if he's fit, you can't always sit and go, well, if he pulls this or he pulls that. That could happen at any stage.
Okay.
The question is
if I'm going to be negative here, for Real Madrid, they are much, much more likely to win La Liga than they are the Champions League. Because obviously they're up against the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich. So why would you risk him in a competition that you're very unlikely to win? Why not wrap him up, keep him safe, keep him happy for La Liga, which has got to be your priority given the chance of winning it?
You're Real Madrid, Dan. I think it makes a difference.
Right.
You're Real Madrid. You can't be going in thinking, well, Champions League's not important. Seriously? Champions League's not important?
I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying that it's unlikely for them to win it.
I think if you want to be the best and you think you are the best and you go around saying we are Real Madrid, if he's fit to play, you play him.
What do you think, Shaq?
I agree. If you can get anything out of Karim Benzema, you take that. You want a solid performance at the very least in the first leg. Not to the point that you're risking him. To Stevie's point, if the medical doctors say, well, you can get 75 minutes out of him. You play him for 45, no more than 60, and just to make sure, just to have a solid performance. I think it's also important exactly who the opposition here in PSG. There's a lot of pressure on PSG to win this tournament, and I think they'll feel that from the opening whistle. They'll want to win this in the first leg. If you could deny them that, if you can take a little bit of wind out of their sails, I think Real Madrid does that. I think they go on and win it in the second leg. So for that reason, I think you take that chance with Karim Benzema, though you don't push it to the limit.
Frank, give us just a sense of occasion in Paris looking into this tie with two European giants going head-to-head over these two legs.
Well, everybody is very excited, and they're looking forward to seeing the game. And I was in Paris today, and it's like it's already a final for some Parisian. It's a dream. Real Madrid has been an excellent souvenir or memory, sorry, for like 20 years ago, or even more than that, almost 30 years ago in 94, 95, where Paris Saint-Germain beat Real Madrid 4-1 at the Parc des Princes. And I think it was a quarterfinal. And so they think that they can go through that knockout stage, and they want to see it. But if I may, to go back to Benzema, I disagree with the guys. You know, I don't have in my mind a guy, especially a striker, who made the difference, not being fit, just coming back from an injury. I never had somebody who made the difference coming back from an injury. We can agree that Benzema is not fit because he has no games in his fit. He's not back to his best. He won't be 100%. I will never risk that because he's such an important player when he's 100% fit. And again, name me a guy, really name me, guys, a guy who came back from injury and made a difference. I don't have one.
Meanwhile, Frank, what's interesting when you take a look at these two sides, despite the big names and despite the fact they're both top of their domestic leagues, they're not exactly impressing at the moment. Real Madrid labouring of late, and really, PSG are just all about Kylian Mbappe. Without him, they're nothing.
Yeah, it's like Real Madrid without Benzema is nothing, you know. So it really depends on those two players, and Paris Saint-Germain is really, yes, depending on the fitness of Kylian Mbappe, on his all his tools and talent. The game that they play against Rennes this weekend wasn't the best game. Pochettino doesn't want to play Gay in the middle of the park. Wants to play Paredes, I think. So it's going to be really up to the guy at front. Well, who's going to be in goal? I think Marquinhos and Kimpembe will have to do the job. I guess Verratti in the middle of the park. But it's true that Mbappe for sure, but also Messi, who's going to play like against his biggest rival, Real Madrid, when he was playing for Barcelona, will have to give their best to make sure they can go through and win that first leg and maybe win again in Santiago Bernabeu. But yeah, it's really up to Kylian Mbappe right now. Kylian Mbappe, who, don't forget, might very soon sign for Real Madrid. So will it be his frame of mind? I don't know that.
No, it's a good question. Look, he's going to go to Real Madrid in the summer, Stevie. How much does that affect him going into this game?
I just think a player, never mind arguably one of the best players in the world, but a real player wants to show what you're going to get. Right. He wants to show them exactly how good he is. He doesn't want to have a bad game. He doesn't want... He'll have that crazy mindset of, oh, if I have a bad game, maybe they'll change their mind. I mean, that's the kind of silly things that now and again go in your head. Right. So, listen, Mbappe, absolutely 100%, if he can stick a hat-trick past Real Madrid, he will do it in a heartbeat.
After what we saw this weekend, if he's up against Marcelo, it'd be impossible to have a bad game, Robbo.
Well, I don't think he'll play on that side. I mean, the player that he doesn't really want to play up against is Eder Militao, because Eder Militao, at the moment, looks a fantastic player. He's got pace, he's got strength, he's reading danger. So if Kylian Mbappe plays sort of through that inside left position, running onto Militao, that could be a really good battle. As you say, if he goes and plays against Marcelo, I'm not sure Marcelo's going to play. I think Mondi will probably play, but Marcelo, I mean, just couldn't defend the other day. I still think if PSG play at a high tempo and they rush Real Madrid when they've got possession, the likes of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Casemiro, without Benzema, where's the next pass going to go? I think that's the way PSG win the game, to play at a really high tempo.
And your boy Lionel Messi as well, Shaq.
Yeah, that's right. Listen, there's incredible pressure on everybody at PSG as individuals, PSG as a club, including Mauricio Pochettino for all the reasons that we've just discussed. And I just can't help but feel that that's telling. Listen, given the spending of PSG and Manchester City, I don't think two clubs have ever been under more pressure to win the Champions League, and PSG even more so with the addition of Lionel Messi. And we've spoken about the imbalance of that squad. Despite their star power, you know on their day they can beat anyone, but it just does not feel like a team that is built to win the Champions League. But you take each game as it is, and they certainly have enough game winners. I just don't see it. I just feel it comes unstuck for them again. This is a competition that's about the team, not necessarily the individuals.
Before we go into details with predictions, Shaq, we need to ask you who's going to start as goalkeeper. Reports suggesting it will be Keylor Navas ahead of Donnarumma. Does that decision make sense to you?
No, I'll be honest. But saying that, none of the decisions around the goalkeepers has made any kind of sense to me from the time PSG decided to sell Donnarumma and not move Keylor. PSG decided to buy Donnarumma without selling Keylor Navas. From there, it was Donnarumma playing in the Champions League with Keylor Navas playing in the league. You saw Pep Guardiola do that to good effect at Barcelona with Ter Stegen and Bravo. And then all of a sudden, things changed. And now it really doesn't make sense. And I think that chopping and changing does neither goalkeeper any good and does PSG no good either.
Who do you start, Shaq?
I probably start Donnarumma at this point. If Donnarumma is commanding the shade for the league, I pick one and I stick with one. Give him the investment in Donnarumma. You stick with him and you start entertaining suitors for Keylor Navas for this summer. And you stick with one because, as I say, it's not helping either goalkeeper.
Let's check out everybody's predictions, shall we then, ahead of the big game in Paris. I wonder what the scoreline is going to be in the first leg and who is going to go through. Frank, PSG 2-0. Shaka's going Real Madrid to advance after a draw. Stevie's going for Real Madrid to advance. Robbo is going for PSG. Why PSG so convincingly for you, Frank?
But I think simply because for me they're better than Real Madrid. I think we are putting the standard of the Liga in a level where they were like 3-4 years ago, but not where they are now. Some names have left the La Liga. It's not the same level for me. We can see that Real Madrid is struggling, and when I watch some games, I don't see La Liga that I used to see. So I have a tendency to think that if Paris Saint-Germain players, especially at front, they are in a good form and they are pretty fortunate, they can murder, especially Real Madrid in the second leg at Santiago Bernabeu in a counter-attack. So it can be even worse in Real Madrid, in the second leg for Real Madrid.
Why Madrid?
Well, I agree with Rob when he said that for PSG to win this game, they're going to have to play a high tempo. That's not just with the ball. You're going to have to play a high tempo without the ball. And do you really think Mbappe, Messi and Di Maria are going to be closing people down? I don't. That means the middle of the park of PSG is going to be overworked. So when you're overworked, you lose your legs quicker, the whole game becomes harder. How are that middle three going to get the ball to the front three? Because as no surprise, we know, they don't go and get the ball for themselves. So that's why over two legs, I think Real Madrid will beat this side. Real Madrid, if nothing else, have a real shape about them. PSG don't have any shape at all. It seems to be mostly off the cuff.
Robbo, why is Stevie wrong?
Because I think at the moment, Real Madrid, the game's come at the wrong time for Real Madrid. Earlier in the season, when they were playing on the counter-attack and Vinicius Junior and Benzema were linking up with each other, they looked great. But over the last few weeks, without Benzema, and even if he does play, I don't think he's going to be fully fit and have a big say on the game. I just think when I go back to Real Madrid against Chelsea last year and seeing how they were outrun and physically they couldn't cope in the Champions League, I think it's going to happen in this game.
Shaka, you got Real Madrid to advance. Your anti-Messi ways continue?
It's not that at all. Listen, as you look at PSG, here's the thing for me. Too big a gap between midfield and that attacking trio, whoever that attacking trio is. And similarly, whoever that attacking trio is, you know you're going to get absolutely no defensive cover from them. And then you afford a team like Real Madrid with their experience, a tactician like Ancelotti, that kind of a bonus. I think they exploit it. And over the two legs, where I don't think Real Madrid will be under any pressure to win the first leg, over two legs, I just don't see PSG getting the better of Real.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and of course, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN Plus.